So you want to sell on Amazon FBA. There's a lot of money to be made, but let's be honest, there's a lot of people who are full of you know what on YouTube and online telling you things that just aren't correct. There's a lot of people who have secret agendas and are trying to sell you $10,000 courses, and I just want to be real with you and share with you 9 things about Amazon FBA that most sellers most likely aren't going to tell you. And of course, there's a lot of great things about selling on Amazon, but with any business out there, there's always the good and then there's the bad. So let me share with you 9 things that maybe will help you to get started or to maybe get you past some limiting beliefs and just share with you the reality of selling on Amazon. So the first thing that a lot of Amazon sellers aren't going to tell you, and I'm just going to share this as like a general rule. Generally, you're going to need money to sell on Amazon FBA. You know, there's a lot of people who say like, oh, you could buy real estate and build a 7-figure Amazon business with no money. And I'm sure there are ways to get started with no money. Like, for example, you could sell stuff around your house and you could get free stuff and freaking sit on the side of the road with a sign, give me stuff to sell on Amazon. But realistically, like, let's just be real. Like, you need money to get started. You need to buy tools like printers. You need money for software. You need money for products. And just because like you sell a product doesn't mean you get paid instantly. Like, Amazon takes 2 weeks to pay you. So I just hate when people are under the impression that you're just going to start selling on Amazon with no money. So that's the first thing that I really wanted to be transparent with you guys about. The second thing a lot of Amazon sellers or the Amazon gurus won't tell you is the reality of restrictions on Amazon and becoming ungated. The truth is, to sell most products nowadays in 2023, you're going to need to get ungated. So what that means is you're going to have to buy from a place like christianbook.com, 10 of an item like CDs and DVDs to get ungated. If you want to get ungated in popular toys, like in brands like Fisher Price or Mattel or Hasbro, you may have to buy from, Best Buy, get a business account, or Target, or different online distributors. I mean, if you want to sell groceries and stuff, there's websites in different places like Alliance Entertainment for like electronics and media items and different things like that. But it's not as easy anymore to sell on Amazon and just like jump right out the gate and sell everything. It takes time to get ungated. But don't believe the BS. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you can't sell DVDs, you can't sell CDs. Like, I quit. Like, please, thank you, quit. More money for all of us. Like, it takes 5 minutes and just a little bit of money to get ungated. The same with Lego. People are like, oh, you're lucky, you're ungated and grandfathered. You could go to lego.com, buy 10 freaking $3, what are those things called? Like keychains. You could get ungated in like Star Wars and Disney and Lego like all at once. So a lot of people won't tell you this, but it's true. It's a bit more challenging now, but getting ungated isn't as hard as people say. The third thing that a lot of the Amazon sellers aren't going to tell you, and especially the folks who have a hidden agenda, and even though I do, like, I'll be honest, like, I have a program, but I don't have $10,000 programs. I have a $300 masterclass, which actually will be going up a little bit, but it ain't going to be thousands. I have a $50 a month, membership. So, like, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not here to kiss your guys' you know what. I'm not here to tell you everything you want to hear so you can join my program and then you're disappointed. The truth is, you're not going to start making money in the first 1 to 2 months. Like, yes, you're going to, quote unquote, make money and sell items, but there's a difference between selling an item versus making a profit versus cash flowing versus putting money in your pocket. It really takes a good 6 to 12 months to start putting money in your pocket. Now, of course, you could go to a thrift store and you could buy an item for $2 and you could sell it for 60 or 70, and theoretically you're in the profit and you've got money in your pocket, but you got to reinvest your money into products. You have to buy tools, you have software, subscriptions, Amazon fees. The Amazon professional plan is $39.99 a month. So I just think it's a bunch of baloney when you have like, especially these private label guys, they drive me nuts. Like, private label is legit, wholesale is legit, but it's like, it was funny. I was at a conference the other day. Big shout out to Expert Summit. It was a great conference held by Onyx Singal, but it was funny. There was a guy who came on stage and he was talking about how he has clients who, he runs ads for his clients and whatnot. And he had a client who was promoting a private label course. And in the ad, he was talking about how, like, you don't need any money and you could make all this money so quick. And I'm like, you're full of you know what. Like, I know how private label works. It takes thousands of dollars to get started. It takes sometimes 12 to 18 months to create your own product, to get changes, to create packaging. Then you got to spend all this money on PPC and you got to build your own listing out. It's like, I'm not trying to say I'm any better than anybody else, but the average person is going to be able to do what I teach way over the average person who's trying to learn how to do private label or wholesale. They work, they're legit, but it takes a lot more money. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but the main message I want to share is for the average person, even if you're doing thrifting and retail arbitrage at a serious level, 6 to 12 months. If you're not willing to invest 6 to 12 months and just keep investing back into the business to build something substantial, just stay at your job. The fourth thing that a lot of Amazon sellers aren't going to tell you, and especially, again, I'm going kind of on a guru kick right now, and I guess I'm considered a guru because I have some products and programs and stuff, but like at the end of the day, like I just don't care if you buy my stuff and invest in my stuff. Like actually, I don't even want anybody joining any of my programs who I personally don't like, who have these stupid beliefs. But at the end of the day, like the people who say like, oh, Amazon FBA is passive income. You're going to make all this passive income. You're going to create a private label product or wholesale or even eBay to Amazon. Like passive income, selling physical products with e-commerce and whatnot it's just a lie. Like you could definitely make it semi-passive. And I would say that my business has become somewhat semi-passive because I have a team of virtual assistants who buy all my items from eBay, and then it comes to my house, and then I have a team who lists it, and then Amazon FBA is picking it, prepping it, shipping it. And I have systems on the back end for people to reprice and deal with stranded inventory. But there's a lot of moving pieces, and I still have to manage people. I have to manage my team. And, I still am spending 5 to 10 hours a week, sometimes more, managing the operation. But if you're trying to get into Amazon FBA and you want to make passive income, like I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just don't think I'm smart enough to have figured it out. But the average person's not going to be making any passive income on Amazon, especially with private label or wholesale for years. Like, yeah, there is probably the potential to build a brand, private label, and then sell it down the road and make a bunch of money. And maybe you have a $2 million, sell out, and then you put it into, real estate, and you could earn some passive income or in index funds and get dividends. Like, yeah, that exists. But with Amazon FBA, 99.9% of all of us, including myself, aren't going to be making passive income with Amazon FBA. Number 5, big sales don't mean anything. I don't know why I'm going so crazy, but I'm getting excited. It drives me nuts. I even piss myself off sometimes. Like I always have to remember, like stop showing your sales and always make sure to share the ROI and the profit margin. Like for example, in the last 12 months, I did a little over $380,000, but that ain't all profit and it's not all cash in my pocket. So my profit margin's around 25%. So on 380,000, that's, what is that, like, I don't know, 80, 90,000 or something like that profit. My margin is going down a little bit because as you grow and scale, you're going to have more overhead. Maybe you have more teammates or employees or virtual assistants. You might start to have more just expenses related to your team, and you might start to, I don't know if downgrade is the right word, but maybe you'll start to go after products with a lower ROI or profit margin because you're having a hard time finding as much. And, I could certainly say the same, like, that's how my business is. Like when I did thrifting a couple of years ago, it was at like 50%. And then I started eBay to Amazon, it went to 40. And as I grew, now it's down to around 25%. And it'll probably level out around 20, 25%. I don't think I'm going to go any less than that. But when you see all these people, especially it cracks me up, these freaking private label people, they show these big numbers and it's like, and I know some people like you guys, I'm not going to call anybody out, but there's YouTubers that you guys watch and they show these big numbers and people idolize them. And it's like, I know some of these guys aren't even making any money. They're making all their money on the back end with courses and stuff. And you just have to understand, big sales doesn't mean anything, right? It's not the size that matters when it comes to an Amazon account. What are we talking about here? It's about the profit. It's about the turnover. It's about how much money you're actually putting in your pocket. And you have to understand, when you're new, you're not going to be putting a lot of money in your pocket because your sales are growing, but there's a 2-week gap for you to actually get paid. But then when the money finally hits, like you have to reinvest back into more products. And then like if you're trying to scale your business, like in my case right now, I'm investing at this moment right now. I'm putting a lot of my profits back into my business. Why? Because I'm spending more money to acquire more inventory, to grow, to build the snowball. And eventually, I thought I was going to stop at 50,000 a month. It's funny, last year I was like, yeah, when I get to 50,000 a month, like I'm going to stop. I think my goal was, I don't know what my goal was last year, but it was like to get to 30 or 40,000. I crushed it, hit 50, and I was like, I'm going to stop and just take my 10K a month profit. Well, guess what? I'm reinvesting everything back in again for the most part at this moment because I want to get to 100K a month. So yeah, just know big sales isn't everything. If you're going to invest in someone's program or training or you see an ad on Facebook or YouTube, just dive a little bit deeper, guys. Just know it's not all profit. And even if I mention my sales and stuff, it's not all profit. So a lot of people won't tell you that, but I just told you. All right, so let's dive into the sixth and the seventh thing that a lot of Amazon sellers won't tell you. And this kind of transitions from point 5, that big sales don't mean everything. Number 6 is fees are pretty high. A lot of people won't tell you that, but it comes out to sometimes upwards to 40%. My fees are around like 30%, 35%. A lot of it depends on what your average selling price is, what category you're selling in. There's quite a few factors, but I would say between like 27 upwards to 40%, depending on what you're selling and whatnot, will be the fees. So just know the fees are higher. The good thing about selling on Amazon FBA, and some people are going to be like, well, I'm going to sell as a merchant because I'm going to make more money. Maybe you will, but it usually comes out pretty close selling as a merchant versus FBA, depending on what you're selling. Of course, like if you have really long tail items, it's not worth it to send it to FBA because you're going to pay for the storage fees, long-term storage fees. And if you have like really cheap items, it might be better to just sell it as a merchant versus FBA because of the additional fees with FBA and whatnot. But in general, you're going to make somewhat of the same amount of money merchant versus FBA, and you're going to spend a lot less time. That's what a lot of people won't tell you. FBA, the fees are higher, but the reason that we're selling FBA is the Prime badge, which means you're going to sell items typically faster because people get 2-day free shipping, but also because Amazon FBA is going to take responsibility for the fulfillment. They're going to store it at their warehouse. When it sells, they're going to pick it, they're going to pack it, they're going to ship it. They're going to deal with customer service. They're going to deal with returns, which make sure to stay tuned because I'm going to share with you something people won't tell you about returns, which really sucks. Yeah, those are a couple things people don't tell you about fees and just selling on Amazon in general. All right, so number 7 and 8, I think I might have forgotten to say number 7 is you're responsible for paying for return shipping labels. Most people have no idea that when you're selling on Amazon, if you sell an item to a customer on Amazon and they buy it and then they return it, guess what? You're paying for the return shipping label back. And even if they open up the package, destroy it, freaking open up the DVD, use it, now it has no value, you're still paying for the shipping label, and now you've got a product that essentially has no value. It stinks. But at the end of the day, just like retail stores have a couple percentage points, I guess, that are probably due to like theft and different things like that, as an e-commerce online Amazon seller, you're going to have, like, for me, my return rate is about 5%. So I just eat it. You know, it's part of the cost of doing business. That's why you want to make sure to build some padding into your profit and your ROI to just know, like, you're going to have a certain percentage of items that freaking Amazon sellers are just going to scam you. They're going to open it. They're going to use it. They're going to read the textbook. They're going to send it back a month or two later. And I mean, that's one of the things we love about Amazon. People convert and buy things like crazy on Amazon, but the reason is because they trust Amazon. You can return items hassle-free. So a lot of people won't tell you, but yeah, returns, they suck for sellers on Amazon. Let's get into the 8th and 9th thing that a lot of the Amazon sellers, a lot of the gurus won't tell you, but I'm going to tell you real right now. Number 8 is that all because you're not gated on an item. So say, for example, you scan like, I don't know, a health and beauty item, and it says you could sell it. All because you could sell an item on Amazon, it doesn't mean you should sell it. Well, that doesn't make any sense, Steve. No, it makes perfect sense. Why? Because there's something called IP complaints. These are intellectual property complaints that brands can actually, it's like they're tattletaling onto you or about you to Amazon saying like, they don't have the rights to sell this item. Well, Amazon, the seller app says we could sell it, but the truth is just because you're allowed to sell it doesn't mean you can't get in trouble for it. Doesn't mean you can't get a lawsuit. It happens to people from time to time. There's lawyers that work for certain companies that'll send cease and assist letters or cease and, is it assist? I don't even know how to talk, but either way, just be careful. A couple tips that I can give you. Check out the software IP Alert. It's a Chrome extension. I'll put a $30 off link down below. But this is a Chrome extension that you could have on your Amazon, on Google, but when you're looking at items on Amazon, it'll tell you, is this brand known to, I guess, give Amazon sellers IP complaints? If you get too many of those and you have a new account, peace out. So be very careful with that. I really love using that. Also, check the Amazon listing to see if the brand is on the listing. A lot of times the brand will be named, like the storefront will be the brand's name, and they'll have like a lot of quantity. Stay away. Another thing, look in Keepa. If you're not using Keepa, make sure to get Keepa. Scroll down and look at the number of sellers. If you see any big sharp dips in the number of sellers, like it goes from like 7 sellers down to 2 overnight, that's a red flag. You're definitely going to want to stay away from it. And last but not least, number 9, and I'm just being real. Again, when I told you guys, like, I feel like I'm not one of these like normal gurus, because I'm not here to kiss your you know what. Like, I'm not here to tell you what sounds good. I'm not here to promise you the world and deliver jack. Like, I'm just telling you how it is. Like, I do this every single day. Amazon is simple. People aren't going to tell you this. Amazon is simple, but it's not easy. It's simple because you're buying low, you're listing the freaking item, and you're selling it on Amazon. It's simple, but it's not easy because there's a lot of stuff you have to learn, from, how to analyze items, how to use Keepa, how to understand the buy box. What is the buy box? How do I deal with supply and demand issues and prices tanking and Amazon, restricting me on brands, and I get an IP complaint and I go to send out a shipment and then Amazon's not letting me, and then there's expiration dates, and there's just always changes. Things are always changing on Amazon. There's a lot of money to be made, but fees are changing, rules are changing. And let's just be real. Like, I know you're probably different because you've watched till the end, but the average person's not going to put up with all this, Like, they're just not going to deal with all the crap you have to deal with and all the changes. Most people want to clock in, they want to clock out. They don't think they do, but they do, because they don't want to change. They don't want to deal with uncertainty. They don't want rules to change. They don't want to have to learn new things. I can't tell you how many friends I have who, it's like they know about these different opportunities, but they don't want to do it. Like, they do, but they don't want to do it. Like, it's like, who was it? Eric Thomas is like, everyone wants to be a beast until it comes down to the time that a beast has to do what a beast has got to do. It's like, if you want to be a successful Amazon seller, you have to be willing to put up with a bunch of crap from time to time. Things are going to hit the fan. You're going to deal with returns. You're going to deal with maybe a counterfeit claim, or you could get suspended. It's not easy. It's a lot of stuff you got to deal with, and you've got to have grit. You've got to have heart. You got to have thick skin. You've got to not be willing to give up. But if you stick with it, it does get easier over time. You build processes and systems, and you figure out pricing errors and stranded inventory. You figure out how to process items faster. You figure out how to ship items quicker. You figure out how to overcome challenges, and you learn what to do and what not to do. So overall, there's a lot of freedom that comes with this business. There's a lot of money that you can make. It's just not as easy as most people put it out there, especially all these freaking Facebook and YouTube ads. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, I want to say much love to you all. If you guys need any help getting started on Amazon or growing your business, definitely check out the links down below. I've got a couple very inexpensive and I over-deliver on a lot of my programs. So definitely check out resellingfreedom.com if you're new. If you've been doing it for a while, I'd say 3 to 6 months, and you're looking to be able to scale your business, check out my eBay to Amazon masterclass. I'll link that up down below. But either way, I'm here for you guys inside of my programs and out on social media, Instagram, TikTok. So with that being said, keep on picking and making that money, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.